Honestly, divorce is not a success.
But you actually see this as
a celebration.
A celebration.
I really do. I look at it as one of my friends, she sent this beautiful letter to me from a woman who got a divorce. And it's all about, you know, this perspective, in my opinion, and just changing the narrative. You know, my marriage was a success.
Yeah.
I look at it as like a curriculum when you're in college or high school, right? You're learning, you're growing, you're evolving, you're creating. And I was able to create with Corey some beautiful, amazing children.
Yeah.
And at the end of that curriculum, and at the end, there's a graduation, there's a celebration. So that's basically, you know, how I'm looking at it now. And I feel like people look at, when they look at marriage, that success equals longevity. But no, at the end of the day, it's, are they happy? Are they thriving? Are they growing? And I feel like that is what is most important.
And whether she's done it consciously or unconsciously, glamorizing divorce as this success, this graduation, you know, something to aim for, something to achieve outside of the parameters of course, physical abuse, sexual abuse, things like that, or infidelity, if that's on your no list, is ridiculous. We don't know the ins and outs of Tia Mowry and her husband's marriage. So we're just going on the basis of them both saying, look, things are not at that dangerous point, but we've just grown apart. When you get married, our vows dictate to us what the goal is. And the goal in marriage, if you're going as a Christian into marriage, is till death do us part. Divorce, it's a painful, difficult thing, not just for the parents, not for the couple, but the kids. And when we reframe like that, it's just a way of coping with a very difficult thing.
But you and your husband, like a lot of couples, decided that it was better to be lived, your life's better lived apart than together.
Yes.
How did you know?
I knew when I really started to focus on my happiness. It's about self-love. And when you start to really work on yourself, love yourself, know your value, know your worth, and then all of a sudden there's this awakening. But at the end of the day, I feel like it is so worth it.
So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about 4 mindset shifts that you definitely want to make before going into marriage, and certainly if you're already in marriage. First thing I really want to tackle is you definitely want to understand that you can learn to practice self-love, and you can learn to find your own happiness again in the marriage, and you can stay married doing it. And I think that her message almost sent this wider message to the rest of women in particular, that, hey, if you want to love yourself and find happiness, it's really not something you can kind of do in the context of a marriage when you're not happy in your marriage. And I don't believe that. Yes, you're gonna have to prioritize your children, your home life, but it doesn't mean that there will be never a season where you can focus on yourself. This notion that I'm having to do me, I'm having to find me, and I can't be married to do that is ridiculous. Now, she's obviously in that season where she's focusing on herself again. It looks like to me she's lost weight, so she's feeling herself, she's feeling good. What sometimes can happen is you start to feel like, oh, I've outgrown this marriage, or I've outgrown this partnership, or I've outgrown the old me. And that means that the old me can't be this new me within the context of my marriage. And I just really want to caution any women or people who might be feeling like that or having those thoughts and feelings, because it doesn't always mean you can't be this new evolved you in the context of your marriage. It's just sometimes a way of having to take time to integrate all those new aspects of you into what you already exist within, which is your marriage. The second kind of thing you want to do mindset wise, and a mistake you want to avoid, is really understanding that if you want success in your marriage, you need to make sure that you're going into it with someone who views marriage as a lifelong commitment, in the good, the bad, and the ugly. There's no guarantees in marriage. We know that there's always a huge risk, but you want to kind of have the clarity of knowing that this person isn't here to just be here in the good times when she's feeling good or she's feeling happy. Because the minute that people experience sad times and difficult times in the marriage, they're going to be out.
I had actually, lost my grandmother. We had lost Elena Housley, and both of them at the same time. There was just an aha moment in me where I said, you know what? You need to tap in, see what's really going on with your happiness. Life is short. Let's go. Let's start working on you and really focusing on what really, really matters here, which is at the end of the day, your peace, your joy, and your happiness.
And that's why in the Bible it talks about there is a season and a time for everything. There's a season of joy. There's a season of rapid growth, of happiness, of all these great productive things. And there are some seasons of sorrow, of grief, of difficulty, of challenge. And it's like, can we stick together in those seasons? That's the kind of partner you want to be really vetting for and looking for. Because if someone's already talking about, hey, if I'm unhappy in marriage, I'm not going to stay married, that is a massive red flag that their commitment level is already on shaky ground. The next thing I want to just touch on is when you get married, it's really, truly no longer about I. In married life, truth be told, you become a we. And that is it. It's like we, our, us. Those are the words that come forth really when you're married. And I'm pretty sure Tia Mowry can attest to that. There are seasons where you are thinking always on the grander, bigger picture of our family succeeding, our marriage succeeding. That means sometimes I have to sacrifice. I might have to take a step back. I might need to compromise. I might need to do something I really desire to do a bit later. And that is just what is required in marriage. It's a mutual reciprocal exchange of two people trying to also serve and meet the needs of this context of marriage. It's a hard thing to do. Again, if you want a successful marriage, you want to go into it with the mindset and the understanding that this is the kind of love we are striving towards. Sometimes our emotions, they come up and sometimes they go away. If we react off every emotion, Lord knows there would be a huge surge in divorces. It takes some maturing on an emotional level to sit in the discomfort and sometimes sit in our unhappiness and know that it's a season and I can work on myself. I can build, the self-love. I can build in acts of self-care. I can improve my state of happiness, and I can also stay married whilst doing it. Next thing I want to just touch on is, be mindful of who is able to speak into your life, who you're getting advice from, because sometimes there are people who are sharing advice from their own pain. We sometimes gravitate to the advice that fits with the decisions we want to make. And sometimes you need to be careful when you're getting married or in marriage to seek advice from those who truly know how to hold you accountable. You see, you want to be able to have people who are going to call you out on your nonsense, who are going to remind you that, hey, sis, that's a bad mistake you're making. Hey, actually, even though you want me to agree with it, I don't agree with it. That you need people in your life who are going to speak the truth to you. You need people who are going to say, hey, sis, you're doing too much. Hey, I love you enough to tell you, no, you're making some mistakes. And that is unfortunately the problem in today's society. We just don't have enough people able to tell people the truth. We have too many people around us who are willing to just pander to bad behavior or pander to bad decisions we're making. Be mindful, guys, that yes, we love these celebrities and yes, we look to them as the example, but you should question, everything. take the meat and leave the bones. Some of the things that I heard her mention in this interview, I just felt did not sit right in my spirit. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. If you enjoy content like this, then make sure you hit that subscribe button, and you can follow me over on Instagram at Simply Sherna. And of course, hit the notification bell so you never miss another upload, and I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you.